Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Terms and age limit favored for Jamaican politicians in a recent poll. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday, 3rd October, brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Details when we return.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Most Jamaicans want politicians in the Parliament and the Cabinet to retire at age 65. Andrea Chisholm of TVJ News reports.
MP for Clarendon Central Mike Henry is 88 years old. MP for North Central St. Andrew Carl Samuda, 81 years old. State Minister in the Science Ministry J.C. Hutchinson, 80 years old. Other MPs such as Olivia Babsy-Grange, Ed Bartlett, Dr. Horace Chang, Homer Davis, Dr. Peter Phillips, Desmond McKenzie, Delroy Chuck, and Everald Warmington are all over 70 years. Now, there's been a long-standing debate over what should be the retirement age for politicians, and so the matter was put to 1,010 registered voters across the island from August 30 to September 14. 92% of those interviewed said ministers and MPs should retire at a certain age. So, what's the number? 61% of respondents say the retirement age should be 65 years, 21% 70 years, and 6% each said 60 and 75 years. Now, before the 2016 general election, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said that if elected, he would introduce legislation for term limits for prime ministers. Until that becomes a reality, Jamaicans have weighed in. 77% of those interviewed said there should be term limits for the executive president, which is similar to the position of a prime minister.
So, 72% said that the member of parliament should have a limit on the number of terms that he or she spends in office.
Others said there was no need for term limits, and some were not sure. And how long should an executive president serve?
55% of those who talked in terms of an executive president said he should serve 2 terms unfixed. 26% would allow him a 3rd term, or her, 3rd term. 26% said the executive president could serve a 3rd term. 7% said they would give them more than 3 terms. But between those who said 2 terms and 3 terms, we have clearly over 80%. So that's where obviously you would want to be focusing your attention.
What about MPs? How long should they serve? 48% said 2 terms, 30% 3 terms, and the minority said over 3 terms, 1 term, or they were not sure. The RJR Gleaner Don Anderson poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.
In other news, vandals have struck at Golden Grove Primary in Antigua, causing damage with a firebomb and disrupting operations on Friday last. ABS's Ursel Charles Jr. reports.
The scent of smoke permeates the air as we walk through the grades 3 and 4 classrooms at Golden Grove Primary. Arsonists struck Thursday evening sometime after 8 p.m., causing distress to principal, staff, and students. A firebomb was thrown into a window, completely destroying a teacher's desk, books, and other paraphernalia, and the corner of a classroom. Principal May Hippolyte tries to put her emotions into words.
It is quite unsettling. It is disgusting. I am so upset with what has been happening at the Golden Grove Primary School.
This is not the first time this month vandals have struck the institution. The principal recounts several harrowing ordeals.
Since we returned in September, we have had 3 major break-ins. When we get here for work, we have supplies all over the place, chairs, desks. All our fans have been stolen.
Now displaced, sitting on the tents, their school day and plans disrupted by unscrupulous actors. The principal is urging the vandals to refrain.
Again, I will take this opportunity to ask the perpetrators to desist from these kinds of activities, and by extension, all educational facilities around Antigua-Barbuda.
She also urges the business community to consider donating supplies the vandals have stolen. Although perpetrators have tried their best to thwart the learning activities here at the Golden Grove Primary, the principal, staff and students resolute learning, at least in the short term, will continue. For ABS News, I'm Ursil Chan.
Sam Bankman-Fried makes requests to be released from prison. More in this ZNS News item.
Well, meantime, despite the gravity of his charges, embattled wonderkind Sam Bankman-Fried doesn't like jail one bit. Not here in the Bahamas, neither in the United States. So when in August, SBF's bond was revoked and he was locked up after a judge ruled it was likely he'd tamper with witnesses, many knew the 31-year-old wouldn't last. On Monday, then, Bankman-Fried renewed a request for temporary release from jail during the course of his trial, according to online reports. And this was not the first time. On September 12th, however, that request was denied. On September 21st, an appeals court reportedly rejected an attempt to overturn that ruling. In a last-ditch attempt, SBF made yet another request for the disgraced crypto CEO to be released the day before his trial on October 2nd with conditions. These include consenting to a gag order. He's also to be accompanied by a private security guard to ensure he does not have access to any computers, cell phones, the internet, television, or any electronic devices.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
In association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
the review conducted by the Guyana Prison Service following the escape of a notorious convicted murderer Mark Roydon Williams, also known as Smalley, has led to improvements in determining the best locations for prisoners and their level of interaction with the public. Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben provided this information. Renata Burnett of HGP Nightly News filed this report.
During a sideline interview at an exhibition activity held for Prison Service Week, Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben spoke to the review that was being done within the prison system. The review in question was carried out after known criminal Mark Roydon Williams, popularly known as Smalley, escaped the Mazaruni prison in May.
Review has been done within the prison system with ourselves as to what resorts we have to, particularly in relation to where people ought to be kept and what interfacing that they would have with members of the public.
The maintenance of the standard operation procedures, SOPs, discipline and order are among other things that Ben noted should be reviewed.
In the system, we cannot relax, that we have to be constantly vigilant with respect to certain persons in the prison system. And I am glad indeed somehow that the episode that we had that experience with Roydon Williams was dealt with appropriately.
Ben also made mention of the challenges in relation to the number of persons who are willing to work in the prison system.
I think it has been an area which people normally don't want to get involved with without understanding the work of the prison system itself.
Smalley escaped from the Mazaruni prison, a maximum security facility, following an exchange of gunfire with prison officers. The death row inmate escaped with the aid of heavily armed accomplices in a speedboat while he was being escorted back to his quarters following a visit. A total of 6 persons, including a superintendent of prisons and his second-in-command, were charged with conspiracy to facilitate an escape. According to Ben, the position of the officers that were charged has since been filled. 2 weeks after his escape, police reported that Smalley and an accomplice were killed during a confrontation with police during a joint service operation at 33 miles in Region 7. Renata Burnett, reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Over in Trinidad, 5 members of the Tech crew attending to a customer in Lower Santa Cruz on Saturday morning found themselves being held hostage for about half an hour by an armed resident of the area. TV6's Alicia Boucher has the details.
It was supposed to be a routine call for reconnection, as one of Tech's customers at Monroe Road in Lacano, Lower Santa Cruz, reported that a branch had fallen on the electricity line, cutting his supply. But this also affected another resident who had an illegal connection. A 5-man crew was assigned to the job and they arrived at the location at 10 a.m. on Saturday. According to the crew supervisor, who wishes to remain anonymous at this time, that's where things took a turn for the worse.
Obviously, we would only repair the legal customer. So when he realized that, he came and was telling me to reconnect. I told him I can't because it is illegal and it looks unsafe, so that in signs of burning on his wire. So his statement was, so you're not connecting it. And then he just walked off. And not too long after, he returned with a weapon and pointed it directly at me and said, we are not leaving here until he gets his connection.
The supervisor tells us the gun was a rifle, and unconfirmed reports state that it was an AR-15.
And what were your thoughts having a rifle pointed at you?
Well, there's all kind of things was running through my mind. I mean, family and everything. But the only thing I thought of doing, because there was no way to escape because of the situation and the terrain of the area. Without even thinking, the only thing I could have done, I walked towards him.
He says this served as a distraction, and other crew members utilized the window of opportunity to call the police.
While in that, I was agreeing to put back the connection to him now because, obviously, the situation changed. So, I agreed to reconnect him, and we started the process of reconnection, and while organizing to reconnect him, the police arrived, and he just ran off. The police went looking for him, and they didn't find him.
He says police arrived within a reasonable time.
10:15 would have been when he pulled his firearm, and the police were there by about 11:45, so half an hour. So we were under the rest of our half hour here.
We're told TNT's management has responded to the incident.
Well, this only happened this morning. Already we met with the general manager, and he already put some things in place that we all agreed that should have always been there in terms of access to our response security team to go to certain areas.
TV6 News has been informed that 2 of these security crews would now be available to technicians going into at-risk areas. The Oilfields Workers Trade Union has also told us that it is meeting with TNT workers. Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
And we are pleased to join Tiana Cole of HGP Nightly News for some regional roundup.
Bermuda's premier said that the government is slowly restoring operations after being hit by quote-unquote very sophisticated cyber attack a week ago. An in-depth forensic audit is underway to determine how the attack occurred, and so far experts have not uncovered evidence that sensitive data was stolen, Premier David Burt said. He declined to say whether it was a ransomware attack. Some email functionality has returned, Burt said, adding that he expects the government switchboard to be fully functional by Monday. Services like the government payroll system, however, are still not running properly. Suriname is hoping to reach a settlement with China over its outstanding debt to the Asian country, even as the Dutch-speaking Caribbean Community CARICOM state looks to Beijing for financing of projects in the future. President Chandrika Prasad Santokhi said that Foreign Affairs Minister Albert Ramdin will travel to China in November to seek and find a solution to the debt situation. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
believe in our strength. We'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give. It's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.